I'm gonna talk about NASCAR at Bristol Dirt. Did NASCAR disappoint on what they did this weekend? Did NASCAR live up to my expectations? And what did I think was off? And did I think that this weekend's race at Bristol was non-professional? Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson and as always we have a good one for you today. Buckle in folks because we are 2 subscribers away from hitting 50 subscribers. So here's what I need you guys to do. I need you to listen very carefully. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have not hit it yet, you want to hit it right now. Alright, because we post sports content all the time. Hit that subscribe button. If you've been a subscriber for a while, spread the word. Say, hey, my buddy has a great YouTube channel, or hey, this guy's got a good YouTube channel. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel right now and give him the link, give him the name, spread the word. Let's hit 50 subscribers before May. Can we do that, guys? Can we hit 50 before May? That's the goal, guys. And when we hit 50 subscribers, we're doing shout-outs. We're doing Q&A. So it's going to be awesome when we hit 50. So you guys, you're going to want to be here when we hit 50 subscribers. But let's talk about Bristol Dirt. Yes, I did not stutter. We did go to Bristol Dirt this weekend. And I do want to talk about the race weekend in a whole. Let's kind of talk about, let's recap. Because you notice this video is coming out on a Tuesday. Well, the NASCAR race was ran yesterday after extensive delays because Bristol area has been experiencing major flooding. This flooding actually killed 2 people, passed away because of this flooding in Tennessee. NASCAR track was flooded with water. Like, they could not have gotten fans into there. The whole parking lot was flooded with water. It was a very interesting race weekend. It was a very interesting event overall. And the NASCAR teams, the NASCAR owners really did put on a decent show. I mean, the track was flooded out, and NASCAR had no chance of racing Sunday. They had no chance, but the track team came out at 7:30 at night. They did the track, and they made us get some interesting racing out on the track. And then, of course, they had to make changes. NASCAR had to adapt as they went along the way. But this race weekend was extremely interesting. I enjoyed it myself, and I thought that, you know, NASCAR handled it, and at least in my opinion, NASCAR handled this race weekend very well. They handled this race weekend to a degree very well. To some points, and I get you, those people that out there that think NASCAR didn't handle this race weekend very good, and I completely understand that, because there is a point where I do think NASCAR could have done something better, and they didn't. So that's important too. But let's get into talking about the race overall. We start off with Truck Series. We're not going to talk about Truck Series that much, but it does have a little bit of a factor. The truck went out before the Cups, and they ran lots of laps on this track. Martin Truex Jr. dominated that race, which kind of made Martin Truex Jr. one of the favorites for the remainder of this race. Martin Truex Jr. did absolutely nothing, though. Ends up finishing 18th, I believe. He didn't do much at all, but that has something to do with it because there was a lot of laps ran before the race happened. All right, let's talk about it, though, quickly here. Second or third lap in the race, Kyle Busch is overheated, and that 18 car looked very fast. Let me kind of break down how fast that 18 was. It took the lead from 4th place in 2 laps and it just looked extremely fast. That car looked good, it looked fast, and it looked like it was ready to go win this race. Eventually, though, it overheats, has to go to pit road because that mud was very wet. Maybe NASCAR went a little overboard at getting the dirt on the racetrack, getting the water on the racetrack, and kind of overdid it. They might have overdid themselves when water in this racetrack. that is an issue. And NASCAR made a mistake there and cost Kyle Busch and his team a chance at the win today, because they had to battle through adversity now the rest of the day through the pack, and that was because of that incident. A lot of mud on that grill. The rest of the teams, though, also were getting mud on the grill. Did luck out, though, with a caution that came of just a few laps ago, a few laps later, and they were all able to pit, able to get that off. The competition caution came out. They were able to rip their grill covers off, and pit stops look very weird today. I am going to talk about those in a little bit, but I think that, the style of the race was very good, but the pit stops just seemed weird. But anyway, they pit. Kyle Busch overheats. He's done for basically the day. But interesting, let's fast forward a little bit. There was, I think the Eric Almirola incident became first. Eric Almirola spun out. Hard hit from Chase. Chase Bristol kind of went into the boards, and I found out they had to remove the safer barriers for this race because safer barriers are not compatible with a NASCAR racetrack. So that's a NASCAR dirt track, excuse me. That's something very interesting that I learned in today's race that I never knew, that safer barriers cannot be on dirt. So that's a very interesting thing that I did learn today. And I was impressed that all the work that NASCAR had to do to put this race on. But it also continues on to the next big incident that I want to touch on quickly. Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson wreck each other out of the race. These two spin out and they're done. They're like basically out of this race for its eternity. They're done. Hard hit. Kyle, it looks like just the 20 car was relying too much on that top line, spun out. The 5 car comes in, hits him hard. The 2 heavy favorites in this race, out. Not a chance. And the reason that I think this is extremely important is because of the fact that these 2 were your 2 favorites in this race. These 2 were the ones that we were all thinking could win this, and they both crash out at the same exact time, leaving us to know that this race is wide open. Who was the next favorite after that? Martin Truex Jr., because of what he just did in the truck race, and he was starting to run very good. I mean, look at Kyle Larson. It was definitely going to be the Kyle Larson Christopher Bell show if they didn't wreck. I think mainly because Kyle Larson moved up from starting in the back because of an engine failure. He moved up way up. Christopher Bell was running decent. I think maybe Ricky Stenhouse was running decent throughout the race. Denny Hamlin kind of figured out if Kyle Busch didn't have a grill issue, he would have been in there as well. So there was going to be more contenders than just Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. But still, that is something that people need to understand, is that that's just how it goes. That's just how it has gone. And no one, I don't think anyone understands the fact that these teams have to adapt very well. But even anything can happen on dirt is kind of what was proven here today. And fast forward, there was a few more incidents, little incidents. The track conditions did get bad enough where they went back to single car restarts for the first time since 2010, I believe. I may be wrong, but I think it was 2010. And single file restarts have not been used in a very long time. And I think it was an interesting move, and couldn't be. And Denny Hamlin had some strong words about the single lane stuff. So let's talk about the finish real quick. Yes, Denny Hamlin, did he choke this finish? Guys, let me know down in the comments down below what you think. Did Denny Hamlin choke this? Joey Logano ends up winning the race, and if you guys seen my video on last Friday, last Friday, if you see my video, go check it out. I'll card it right here. But you might want to go check that out, because that was very interesting. It was fairly interesting on how it all went down. I ranked my best NASCAR team drivers, and Joey Logano was one of my least favorite, we shall say, right? But, he deserved to win. He definitely deserved to win. And Ricky Stenhouse passed the 11 car because the 11 went up top. But during post-race interviews with the media, the 11 of Denny Hamlin said that he thinks if it was double file restarts, he would be able to win the race. Listen to what he had to say.
With that going to the single file restarts at the end, how much did that impact what you were able or weren't able to do at the end on the restart?
Yeah, it's tough to say. If if I'm beside him, I'm in a better spot than if I'm behind him on a green white checkered. I had an opportunity there to choose whether I was going to make a move on him on the high side or the low side. I chose high, and the track was just too slick up there at the time. So, certainly, he didn't get a very good restart. I mean, I was on him entering turn one, so that tells me if I could start beside him, then I had an opportunity there to be ahead of him getting in one. But it is what it is, and we all had to adapt. We knew after halfway or so when they changed it that was going to be the rule for the rest of the race. So those are the cards we're dealt.
Denny.
That's what Denny Hamlin said to the media when asked the question about, Denny, what do you think could have happened? And he basically said, I think I could have won. I think I would have won if it wasn't for that caution that came out. Denny Hamlin very vocal about that. Sure, he didn't actually call out NASCAR and said, NASCAR, you made the wrong choice. NASCAR, you're not supposed to be doing this. But he did come out and say, yeah, guys, I don't understand what you guys did there. Why did you do this, NASCAR? I think that is very important and should continue to be looked at and should continue to be viewed. And no matter what way, it should continue to be focused on, because that's a major part of the way this race went. It was those single file restarts definitely tampered with the finish of today's race. Anyway, with that said, talking about our finish, talking about everything, I think that's a good leeway into talking about our race results from today. Very, very interesting results here. A lot of names here that maybe you don't suspect. So let's take a look. First place winner, Joey Logano. More coming up right after this with winner spotlight. But Joey Logano wins his first win of this season. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. drives up to finish second after passing Denny Hamlin. Ricky Stenhouse was probably the best dirt guy on the track at the end of the stint. Denny Hamlin in third place took the top lane. He kind of blew it. He could have had this race won. Daniel Suarez finished fourth. Daniel Suarez finished fourth, guys. That 99 Trackhouse team has been showing lots of speed, lots of potential in that car lately. I think he could go very far, but I think this team, Daniel Suarez said it in post-race, he needs to keep some momentum going. This team will a few more top fives, and this team will be trucking it, and I agree. This team needs a few more momentum. This team needs a little bit more momentum, but they can take this team, and they can fly with it very quickly. So Ryan Newman finished fifth. William Byron in sixth. Tyler Reddick in seventh. Ryan Blaney finished eighth. Eric Jones with a top 10, a very good run. I think it might be one of the best runs Eric Jones had all year. Chase Elliott in 10th. Brad Keselowski in 11th. Michael McDowell in 12th. Matt DiBetto, top 15. Chris Buescher in 14th. Kevin Harvick in 15th. Kurt Busch in 16th. Kyle Busch in 17th. Ryan Preece in 18th. Martin Truex Jr. in 19th, actually. And Chase Briscoe, after being involved in lots of incidents, finished in 20th. Just quickly, Kyle Busch, 17th after that splitter failure. Martin Truex Jr., one of our favorites. 19th. Chase Briscoe, involved in incidents, 20th. Some notable finishers outside top 20. Alex Bowman was running up towards the front for a lot of these races. For a lot of the race, he finished 22nd. Stuart Friesen, a one-off event here. He finished 23rd. So we're down the field. Bubba Wallace in 27th. The struggles continue for 23-11 racing, and he was running decent. Kyle Larson comes back to finish 29th in this race. He was able to keep the car going. And all of our cars involved in an accident: Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Eric Almirola, Shane Gobelick, Corey LaJoie, and Anthony Alfredo. Also Mike Mahler, Cody Ware, and Chris Windham all had problems, all had to go out of this race because of an accident issue. Here are your top 20 in your finishing results. Soak them in, everybody, and let's transition into winner spotlight. Joey Logano wins today's race. This is Joey Logano's first win of the 2021 NASCAR season. I don't know what his career win is. I know it's not as much as Kyle Busch. But just kidding, guys. Anyway, though, he is in the 20s for career wins. You'll see it right over here. And also locks himself into the playoffs. He wins the historic Bristol dirt race. Let's not let that go undenied. He wins the first ever Bristol dirt race. This gives lots of bragging rights. Joey Logano said he has no experience on dirt when he was in the Fox broadcast, like he always does, kind of talking down with himself. For some reason, Joey Logano always does that. But did show up and showed up in a big way, in my opinion. He dominated some of the later portions of this race. He also did have speed on the restart, but he had a pretty bad restart. And potentially the 11 team also said that this is another thing that Joey Logano said, that they don't, and that Denny Hamlin said, they don't race like the 22 team. That was very interesting as well, that he said, we're not like the 22 team. And I don't disagree. They're not like the 22 team at all, but potentially they should be, and be a little more aggressive in the situation they were in. But anyway, Joey Logano does take away the victory. A very good promise. He's the 7th different winner this season, which is becoming to be a trend. It seems like 7 winners this year. Yeah, it's becoming a trend, I think, and man, this could go far. This race, these 7 winners, we're definitely going to hit the double digits. Still, Joey Logano is one that we can check off our list, but there's still a lot of drivers that are big names that have not won yet. You know how Fox is saying best season ever? Yeah, Fox. This is really showing up to be one of the best seasons ever. And, well, in 2 weeks we're heading to Martinsville. I could see a first-time winner there. Richmond, I could see a first-time winner. Denny Hamlin still hasn't won yet. A first-time winner this season is what I mean by first-time winner. But anyway, Joey Logano wins. That's your winner spotlight for this week. Let's talk a little controversy here. I don't know about your opinion here, but on the one-lane restarts is kind of bugging me a little bit. Look, I get the fact that NASCAR needed to adapt and do one-lane restarts, but we heard what Denny Hamlin said about the one-lane restarts. He did not appreciate that they did one-lane restarts. He didn't appreciate it at all. And personally, I don't disagree. I was a little shocked about the one-lane restarts and the fact that NASCAR was not prepared to have to know that. I know they're trying to cut down on dust and trying to make visibility better for drivers, but clearly it did annoy some of the drivers, especially like Denny Hamlin. Now, Denny Hamlin, yes, he probably would have been side by side with Joey Logano going into the corner if it was 2-lane restarts, but instead he had to work to get side by side and never did that. Now, I'm not defending Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin should have put the bumper to the 22. That's your best chance at winning at that point. Not taking the high line that really has been off and on all day. You don't know. Like, that's weird. And his team was even pumping him up on the radio. Hey, Joey Logano's one of the best here. But that one-lane restart, in my opinion, affected the integrity of the event. And that's just my opinion. And I get everyone's going to disagree. But I know NASCAR adapted in a way they had to, and that's just what they had to do. But I applaud NASCAR in a way for being able to adapt to certain situations like that, but I think NASCAR will take away a lot and learn a lot. Potentially, though, if you're going to do one-lane restarts, don't do it for just the final stage next year. If you're going to have to do one-lane restarts, I want them for the whole race, not just for a stage, not just randomly say, oh, yeah, we have to do one-lane restarts. That's where I would be a little upset about. But still, a very interesting thought right there. Also, there was like that pit stop thing where they had one pit stop. That bugs me a little bit, guys. That one pit stop thing where the teams didn't have any urgency. There was no competition on pit road. The teams and the drivers would just come out, do-do-do-do-do, take the tires off. And it wasn't like do-do-do. It was like do-do-do-do-do-do-do. There was no time. There was no rush on pit road because they had, I think some pit stops lasted like 5 minutes. They had lots of time. No one was going to lose a position on pit road. No one's going to gain a position on pit road. It was no need to go fast. There was no need to pick up the speed because everyone just stopped. I get it's dirt racing, and they have to do that because it wouldn't really make much sense why they wouldn't. And I get they've done this for forever, and Eldora, I get this, but it's NASCAR Cup Series. I would not like to see that. Again, I know now, though we do know, that Bristol Dirt is returning for the 2022 season in the spring. A little surprised. It definitely does cost a lot of money, and with the state of coronavirus right now, but I do think Bristol thinks they can pack the stands. I have heard that Bristol does think that they can pack the stands, and I think that there was pretty full stands out there today. But still, thinking about it, I know they're going to do one-lane pit stops again, but I don't want that. I want it to be a little more competitive on pit road. That's really one of the only things that bug me. If you guys have seen any of the videos on my channel, you know that I have been I've been critical of Bristol Dirt ever since they announced it. Bristol is my favorite track. It provides awesome racing all the time. It is my favorite track on the schedule, followed by probably Daytona, and then a few of the other short tracks probably would be my thing. But Bristol's my favorite racetrack, and the fact of the matter is they took dirt on my favorite track, but I was surprised. I'm still upset. I much rather have it on pavement a little bit, but I do like the way this race went. So let's do hit the gas or hit the brakes. Guys, you have the power to hit the gas or hit the brakes in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing. Are you hitting the gas on this race? Or are you hitting the brakes on this race? Personally, this race was very entertaining and had its moments. Cautions were down in the truck series. There was a lot of cautions, so I was concerned going into the cup race that there was also going to be a lot of cautions. There was a limited amount of cautions in the cup race, actually, so that provided to be very good news. Also, more on that topic is that, like, NASCAR was very adaptable, and the racing was good. Side-by-side action, really, the leader didn't get too far away. Sure, there was its moments where the driver did get far away, but the leader never got that far away from second place, and it was very competitive and had an overtime finish in it. So for this race, I'm going to hit the gas, and I'm going to give it an A on the meter right here, A. This is awesome. It's going to get an A. One of my best, I think this is the best race of the year. Personally, in my opinion, it has got the highest score out of any race. Not an A+, A95, but it was a very good race. And I applaud the teams, the workers, everyone that was there, everyone that worked throughout it, NASCAR officials and track team at Bristol for doing this. Cleanup is going to be beginning soon because in the summer, late summer, we'll be here again for running a playoff race on the concrete. But still, exceeded all of my expectations by far. I'm excited for next year's Bristol Dirt Race. I gotta say, I'm actually excited for the trucks when they head to Knoxville, which is the next dirt race that NASCAR's running, but not the Cup Series, just the Truck Series. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you missed what I said in the beginning of the video, we're at 50 subscribers, and if you guys subscribe right now, we only need 2 of you to subscribe for us to hit 50. 2. So please do that. It's going to be an awesome celebration once we do. Q&A, shout-outs, all that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And that is it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.